Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Around the Ballpark podcast, episode number 105. Thank you guys so much for joining us. I already see several of you jumping right in, so thank you. I know we're a few minutes after 8:15. Appreciate your patience. I'm here, of course, with my brother, my partner in crime, Darren Redmond, as always, and we have Leah on with us from at Hooked on Friends. We'll get to know her in just a little bit from X. We're going to talk all things Friends, of course. If you saw the thumbnail, you know exactly what we're talking about. And you've been here long enough, you know why we do these kind of episodes where we kind of drift away from sports every now and again, especially for the best show of all time, Friends. But before we dive into all that stuff, Darren, how are you doing? And would you mind sharing some words from our sponsor?
Well, first of all, it is what? It's weekend eve, right? Thursday night is weekend eve. You tell yourself, you know what? Friday, I got Friday. And then we got the weekend. Love everything about that. And we're talking about the show Friends, which you can't, that's just awesome. You can't stop talking about that great show that has incredible legs. We'll talk about that because I was raised on sitcoms, quite frankly, because I had no friends. But first, you know what I'm going to talk about? Our sponsors. Been with us forever from episode 1. Palm Bay, Fort Pierce, are tax problems weighing you down? You're behind on filings, facing a lien. Nashville Tax Solutions here with expertise and dedication that you need. Their experienced team handles the IRS, so you do not have to. But don't just hear from us. Clients say it best, such as Chris Bennett and his team turned a nightmare into peace of mind. They're sharp, honest, and they truly care. So don't let tax stress take over your life. Call 855-627-4829. Visit NashvilleTaxSolutions.com or email info@NashvilleTaxSolutions.com today. Nashville Tax Solutions, real help and real results.
Thank you, Darren. And we are now in double-digit viewers, so thank you guys for hopping on. But first and foremost, Leah, our guest of honor, thank you so much for joining us tonight. If you wouldn't mind sharing a little bit about who you are and how this account on X came about and the growth that it's had so quickly and all that. So if you wouldn't mind sharing that, that'd be awesome.
Yes, well, thank you guys for having me. I'm really excited. I'm 28, so I was, in diapers when the show came out. So people like to make fun of me for that. But I started watching it when I was 8 years old. So I've been a fan of it for a really long time. And I think because I watched it so young, I didn't have a lot of friends that were into it around my age. So I think when I was like maybe 16 years old is when I started that account. And it was just like a fun place just to talk about Friends with the people. And then I kind of made it a little bit more like professional in a sense, where it kind of almost seemed like an official account for the show, even though it's not. And yeah, it kind of just took off from there. And I've been trying to get like a little bit more back into posting on it because for a while I wasn't. So yeah, it just kind of blew up.
That's awesome, and it kind of sneaks up on you. You kind of started out, you kind of get a little stagnant for a little bit, and then all of a sudden it's like, wait a minute, there's this much love. And one thing we talk about, Darren and I, we say a lot of times we talk to the clouds, we yell at the clouds, but like they don't make sitcoms like they used to. And I know that sounds like old person talking, but it's true. Like, because I watch certain shows and they're good, but like after I seen it one time, I'm kind of good. Like with Friends, I'm always catching something. Even the 312th time that I've seen it, I'm catching something.
We're still laughing like it's the first time that you've seen it.
Yeah, I remember it got me through one of my first jobs. I was a front desk manager at a hotel, and I would work the overnight shift. And like, I'd bring my little portable DVD player about midnight till 5 a.m. and I just put on disc 1, disc 2. Can I share a quick story before we dive into the episodes? Fun little story.
For sure.
Unfortunately, many years ago, my old house got broken into. I was coming home from work, and I walk in the door. I'm looking at the mail, and I get in, and all of a sudden, I'm stepping on glass, and I'm like, "That's really strange." And I look, and the whole back patio door got knocked in, basically. And I was like freaking out. I'm like, "Oh my God, what happened?" So I'm looking around the house, and I see the TV's gone. I see the DVD player's gone. The camera's gone. All this stuff, right? What do I say? I run over the corner and go, "My friend's DVDs." Like,
No.
The first thing I said, I was beyond everything else that was gone. That, like, for whatever reason, I'm like, that was missing. That's what made me angry. And long story short, they caught the person who did it 6 months later, and I actually wound up buying back a couple of the seasons that got stolen. I went to a pawn shop, and I knew it was that because there was a certain mark on one of the discs on season 3 or something.
Oh my God.
And it was missing a disc, but I was like, that's okay. I got it back.
Oh
But
my
true story,
God.
I was more worried about the Friends DVD than all the electronics that I lost that day. So
Oh my. I thought that you were gonna say that your first thought was like, this is like Friends when Joey and Chandler got their apartment like not broken into, but they kind of got robbed.
yes. Yeah, got robbed, and Joey was so happy with what he did. He thought he was gonna get
Get a deal.
Yep, got a good deal.
Making a sale.
So, but great to see Soup Beat on here. Love the show. I love that name. That's just a awesome.
Yes, Soup Beat is a good name.
Mike Clark, thanks for joining us as well in the chat. Appreciate you. Tonight we're really going to have fun and just kind of go back in time, break down some of these episodes that, and of course, I'll start here. And Leah, if you want to talk about this one first, but when you think sport-related episodes of Friends, I mean, there's so many that kind of come to mind. Not as much as Seinfeld in terms of sport-related, but the one that stands out to me, I think, probably to most people, in season 3 tonight, it's the classic Thanksgiving episode where they play the game of touch football. And then there's a sibling rivalry, Ross and Monica over the Geller Cup and all that kind of stuff. So are you like me? I do these weird things where like I have to put on the Thanksgiving Friends episodes in November, like the day or two before. Are you the same way or?
Yes, absolutely. I actually have a disc. I mean, I don't play it as much anymore now that they're streaming and everything, but I actually have like a disc that is just all the Friends Thanksgiving episodes. Also, I wanted to show I am wearing the Friends football.
Oh wow! Yes.
I thought that was perfect for tonight.
That's funny, and I didn't even notice that. That was that.
Yeah, funny. I think the name is kind of covering it, but I was like, this is the perfect one to wear tonight. But yeah, so I like when it comes around November time, I want to put that on, or the ones that kind of even reference football in general are kind of the funnier ones.
Yeah. Do you remember, Darren, from you remember that episode specifically or?
Oh, absolutely. It's a very famous episode, though not sports related, but Thanksgiving related. Come on, you got to put on your stretchy pants.
The Thanksgiving pants.
Yes, because that was me. I would have to do that, and I still do that. Sometimes a shirt, but always because you got to eat the good food. You got to truffle in. But I will tell you this. Couple of things about Friends and why it's a special place in my heart. I really enjoyed the show very, very much, but my wife and my daughter love the show. So when we got married, we just celebrated our 30th wedding anniversary, and 1995. It was like the first year that Friends was out, and the song "I'll Be There for You." That is what our wedding party came into.
Same here.
So that'll always be big in my heart. And whenever I would come home, and still to this day, and my wife's watching, Friends in bed, whatever, it's just very comforting.
Yeah. Yeah.
You can't. It's very comforting. I mean, and it was like one of those shows that you just kind of, this is good. This is so. That was it. But no, I mean. The football episode was always great. You mentioned about, the Gellers, the dance off was always wonderful.
Just their rivalry in general, like the competitiveness. I love every time that they want to.
Because you can see in your head, like that they've been practicing these moves in the silence.
Absolutely. It's all great. And I have tons of questions for Lee when we can kind of get down the road a little bit.
Yeah.
But I'm going to start you with this one. If you don't mind, Mike, that I ask one of the questions.
Oh, go ahead. Yeah.
What do you think the success of the show was?
I think when I think about Friends and like why, because even like I said, like I first started watching it, I was really young, and people of all ages will watch it. I think of like, it is something that if you're not in your 20s yet, maybe you're in your teens, you're kind of like, okay, I have that to look forward to.
Right.
Of that time in your life where you have no idea what you're doing and everything feels like, confusing. And then when you now, especially now, me being in my 20s, I totally understand that feeling. And it's like, okay, Friends kind of helped me prepare that this is a universal feeling. And then if you are outside of your 20s, you can watch that show and look back and be like, I remember that time in my life. So I think it's something that no matter what stage you're at, it's relatable in some sense, and it's just funny no matter what. And it's like, it's kind of like you were saying, it's just that comforting show. That's how I feel. It's like, if I'm ever sad, if I just put that show on, I don't think I've ever watched that show and been in a bad mood. You know, it's like, it's an instant uplifting kind of feeling. And I think you don't get that as much anymore.
Oh, no, you don't.
No.
And go ahead.
Because you can smile before, as you know the joke's coming. You're prepping yourself like, oh, it's a couple more seconds and they're gonna nail it, you know. Because it was the combination of the character themselves, them delivering the line, but then the facial expressions. Like if you were listening to the show, it's great, it's funny, but it's not the same effect if you see Ross or Joey making certain faces and things like that you know you can't miss.
The actors are what really, like, they just got like the perfect 6 group of people that connect so well. I think that's another part of the success of the show too. It's just everybody liked them and they got the perfect cast for it.
They really did.
Yeah, they do. So here's my first question. This is a tough one.
Okay.
It's not trivia though, so you don't have to worry.
Okay, that's fine. I would take trivia too.
Yes. There was a game, I think it was the Scene at Friends, and the rule was if you got it right, you kept going, and the other person never got a turn. Like I was like, this doesn't seem like a good game. Like, but so, and I went to one of the trivia contests once where I got all 24 questions right, and then I got to the bonus round, and it was like, how many steps did Ross take out of the apartment to the left when he went to go look for the monkey? I'm like, what? So my question is, so in sports, they have, in football, they call the 12th man. Like this is basically, you have the 11 players on the football field, and then you have the 12th man, which is basically the fans.
I'm a huge football fan.
Okay.
Huge.
Good to know. Good to know.
So I got you.
Wait, hold on a second. Who's your favorite team? Who's your favorite team?
The Steelers.
There you go. All right. How you feel about Aaron Rodgers this year?
I'm not excited about that. I was like, they kept having rumors that was going to happen. I was like, no way they do it. And then when they signed him, I was like, me and my brother were both huge fans. We were like, you gotta be kidding me. But I will still be there every Sunday watching. So. What are you? A Jets fan?
I'm a Jet fan, so I know your pain.
I'm so sorry. Yeah, that's now you actually know my pain. Oh goodness.
Yep.
I like my team to win less than 3 games. I like the Carolina Panthers. They win.
He's a Panthers fan.
That's good for me.
So I think between the two of you, I'm doing okay with my football.
Yeah, exactly. I mean this with no disrespect to the Carolina Panthers, because they're a fine team. They made it to the championship game one year. And I bring that up because it's like finding a unicorn. How many Panther fans do you run into? Not many. But how many Jet fans? Listen, how many of you are alive when the Jets actually went to the Super Bowl? That was me. One person.
Oh goodness!
There was still black and white television. People drinking Tang. Horrible. None of the cast of Friends was alive.
No, they were not.
Oh, no.
But so my question is how I'm tying this in. Which character in Friends would you say is the 7th man? So basically, outside of the main cast, who's like the most valuable character that's not considered a main character? I know that's tough. There's like 100 of them.
I'm thinking like. I used to kind of say that Phoebe's husband, Mike, Paul Rudd, kind of took that character on, like when he finally came in, because Paul Rudd is Paul Rudd. And so he fit in really well. But I think if maybe you're choosing like an overall 7th character, maybe Gunther would have to, but he's kind of like more in and out. Maybe more Paul Rudd. I think Mike when it came later in, because he was funny and he really just fit in with the Friends really well.
He did. He was like the 7th character, and I think I would have said Gunther as well, because he did these subtle things where like he would get upset about something, someone asking Rachel out, whatever, and then he'd just go in the back of the kitchen and you'd hear glass shattering. He would not even say a word sometimes.
Or when he, I was actually just looking at this on my Twitter account the other day, and it was Gunther walking up to somebody, and it was after somebody had asked Rachel out, and he just holds a sign up that says, "We have the right to refuse service to anybody." He's like, "Get out." It's such good humor.
Yeah.
It kind of changed over the course of the series, right? At first it was the landlord, right? If you think about that. And then they moved from the landlord. Gunther was always a mainstay. You know, he'd come in and be kind of funny. Then you had Tom Selleck for a while, right? You had that whole
Yeah.
arc. And
He kind of took
had,
that
yeah,
seventh
and then
character for a little bit.
Bruce Willis for a little bit.
Right.
And then there was Michael, the one who was Phoebe's first boyfriend. I thought he was going to stay a while. And remember until he shot the bird from the bedroom?
Oh, yeah. That is one of my favorite moments.
Yes, and then he was gone.
It's so ridiculous.
Never to be...
It's so funny.
Yes, so
from again. Yeah,
but I would also say probably Gunther, though Phoebe's brother, he had a lot of show. You know,
that's true. Yeah, he would be in and out. Yeah,
my sister's having my baby. You know,
it's so good.
Yeah, I think Ursula was not on high on everyone's list.
Ursula, there, yeah. Well, she was a good one. I was actually thinking of her too, but I just don't think she comes in enough. You know.
And Ursula was from what show? Come on, you guys know this easy trivia.
Mad About You.
Mad About You. That's right.
Yep,
that's right.
So,
and how was Mad About You connected to Seinfeld, Mike?
How was what?
How was Mad About You connected to Seinfeld?
Oh, I think I know the answer, but I'm going to pass through a guess. That way I don't look stupid.
I don't think I actually know.
Okay, Mad About You. They lived across the hall from Kramer before he moved into the building with Jerry Seinfeld.
Oh, that's right. Okay.
Oh, that's so cool. You gotta love like three big sitcoms kind of connecting together.
Yeah,
that's awesome. What I wanted to talk about next is actually my second top episode of all time. Is the one with the late Thanksgiving, and there's so many good things about this. Whether it be of course, this is when Ross and Joey go to the Rangers game, even though they're not supposed to because they're gonna be late to dinner, and Phoebe and Rachel go to the beauty pageant with Emma and that whole thing. So many funny things happen here, but I don't know why, but just Joey having that foam fingers like still on his hand after everything. That was the first moment, and then when Ross rips off his pocket and he stole his pocket. I don't know why, but like there's one of those rewind and watch again 4 times before you proceed with the episode.
Yes, so. I love when Ross rips it off and he's like, "For the love of God, take it off!" He just had enough at that point. And the ridiculous rock paper scissors that they do, and just throwing in like fire or like water balloon.
Yeah,
such a good episode. Or them.
I throw that in every once in a while if we're doing that, and they're like, "What are you talking about?" But
and I love. You ever watch the bloopers for that moment? Those are that's almost even funnier than the show. The bloopers for that part.
I'm so glad that I had that. It was included on the DVD set that was stolen, but I got it back.
No,
they had to buy it back at a pawn shop.
It's so insane.
I got them they were charging $2 a season though. It was a deal. I was okay with that, even if it was my own stuff.
People love Friends so much they have to go rob other people for it. Yes. I get it. Yeah. I get it.
But so that was great. The nacho chair, that the whole thing, and who has a Thanksgiving Day spelling bee, all that kind of stuff. So that was that was gold.
So good. Or when they're all peeking through the door and he's looking at like the cranberry, Chandler's trying to be like, "Look at my cranberries," and Ross is like, "They weren't even that good."
And that moment was so good. And Darren, I think you could relate because as a man, and as we're going older, on Thanksgiving Day, we're typically expected to show up and help a little bit here and there, but not so much with the cooking. Like for years, I was entrusted with just the cranberry because like that was all I could probably handle. But then over the years, I got a little bit better and could do this and I could do that. But like cranberry, so that line resonated because like that was the one thing I can get right. You can't really mess up cranberry sauce, but he found a way to almost do that. So I thought that was awesome.
Good Chanberries.
Yes,
that's what we wanted to call them. So funny. So funny.
Darren, there was a character early on in season 4. He was in I think a couple episodes, but it's not so much it's a Thanksgiving episode. It was not a Thanksgiving episode. It was an episode where it was kind of revolving around hockey. Joey was into hockey at the time. He's trying to watch the game. But do you remember the crazy roommate Eddie?
See, no, I don't. Give me more. No, I forget. No.
So Eddie was Leah, if you want to share a little bit, he was a nut job. But if you want to share a little bit about him,
yeah,
I loved his character.
I loved his character too. Yeah, because it was Joey started to like actually start making money from Days of Our Lives, I believe.
Yes.
And so he moved out.
Doctor whatever. Yes.
Yeah, so yeah, Dr. Draco Moray. And so he moves out and Chandler needs a roommate and gets that psychopath.
Yes, I remember him.
And
Yes.
yes, I remember when one of my favorite moments is when he I think he accuses Chandler of stealing his goldfish and then says, "Don't worry, I got a replacement for the goldfish, and it's a little goldfish cracker."
I remember him. I forgot that he was, yes.
Yeah. And
so good.
And he had a couple moments, but then he would just stare at someone, stare at him while he was sleeping. He just started losing his mind, and so they finally had to tell him, "Nope, you're in the wrong apartment." Oh, my bad. And he just kind of went on his way and never to be seen from again.
Original gaslighting.
Yeah. So he's a person that a lot of people forget about, but he was definitely good. And of course, you had the one with the Ultimate Fighting Championship when Monica thinks that she's about to get an actual engagement ring, and it was a little bit too soon, but she was going to go for it because why not? He's loaded and all that stuff. But that didn't quite work out so much. And it was actually he was wanting to purchase a ring for Octagon to compete in Ultimate Fighting. And the fights didn't last very long. I think he lost.
No, he was not very good.
No, he was
lost every time.
And now, Darren, he is that actor. He's actually like one of the main people in the I was going to say the Avengers in the Marvel universe, right?
Yes, he is.
Yeah,
and he's a wonderful director.
Yeah, forget his name off the top of my head, but yeah, he's a wonderful director. And
he was also in the movie Rudy. He makes the great line when he goes, "Who's the wild man now?"
That's right. That's right. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Useless knowledge right here.
What's that?
I am useless knowledge right here.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's I love that. That's one of my favorite, I think, like episodes or like kind of arcs that they have going on there. And I love when Monica's just like, "You suck." Like she just has to break it to him that he's not good.
John
like,
Favreau. That's right, Mary Q.
Favreau. Thank you, Mary.
Yes. Oh, that's my friend, actually.
Oh, Mary knows.
Yes.
Come on, Mary. Mary gets a chance to play for the car now.
But you know what? Listen, me and her have done trivia before, and I kicked her butt pretty good.
Well, Mary, she threw the gauntlet down. John Favreau is wonderful. Knows. And by the way, he had this great movie about working in food trucks. See the movie. It was incredible. I forget the name of it. Very, very good.
Good to know. There's a couple other episodes that are sport related, but those are really the ones that want to kind of dive into some other stuff. So I'm going to start with the one that probably everyone's asked you in person, online, whatever. But without having to miss a beat, without thinking about it, the number one episode of all time is what?
The one with the embryos.
Okay, that is up there. That is the top three.
You're thinking of something else?
Yeah, so that's number 3, and the one after the football, or the one I mentioned with the football, is number 2. I'm thinking another one, but embryos is almost there because it was so good in so many levels. But I'll share mine in a minute. Darren, what is yours off the top of your head?
Might be a surprise. No, I got it right now. Might be a surprise. The leather pants on Ross and the spray tan.
Yeah.
So good.
My thing about that episode with the pants is we all know Joey, like he's not the go-to for information, right? Like you're not going to call him up if you really have an issue. Like he's not going to solve it. But for whatever reason, in that moment, he was the go-to. Like he was going to solve this pickle that he was in, but clearly was not the way to go. But yes, the spray tan was fantastic.
The great idea of the paste pants. He came up with a really great idea. If you just mix it all together, you'll have a pair of paste pants, and she won't even know that you are not wearing anything. I actually have a picture of in my bathroom of it's like a painting someone did of Ross trying to get the leather pants up, and the lotion everywhere.
Oh, that's awesome! I gotta see that sometime. It's
very. I'll try. Yeah, I'll DM it the picture of you. It's very, very funny.
I love them all, but I love the one where Joey, of course, stupid turns around and walks into his door. Yes, that's a good one for sure. So for me, the all-time episode was the one with the fridge, where Joey blames everyone for breaking the fridge because it was, and I think it was mostly because of the high pitched, how he's accusing everyone, but he's like just the way he delivered the line. He's blaming everyone, and he's cutting deals, and I'll take a check for the other 300. just classic. And just, you know, when he's blaming Ross and that's been broke for a while, you know. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's the best moment and maybe not the best full episode, but I just remember laughing at a lot of those scenes more, especially when he gets shoved into the fridge.
Yes.
That was classic. So
that's one of, I think when anyone asks me like my favorite like Joey moment, that is my favorite moment. I always say is when he's accusing everyone of breaking the fridge. And I think he talks with Chandler. Chandler's now living with Monica at this point, and he's like, "Hey, I wanted to talk to you about your half for the fridge." And he's like, "What? I didn't break that fridge." And it's so funny him accusing everybody of breaking that fridge.
Yeah.
Like you said, it's been broke for a while. It's so good.
And twins. So, if I can ask another question, and if I sound like I'm on TikTok, I'll go first. But what do you think was the greatest guest appearance on Friends? And I'll go first to set the tone. And he actually came back, but the first time he was on was the best. And that's John Lovitz when he was high. And he's just got the munchies at the house. Save them!
Tartlets.
There's tartlets.
Or when he comes back as Rachel's bad date, that's hilarious.
Hey, that was the funniest. And again, well, I'll ask the question later, but he just got it right. Being high, being from New York, being a little ostentatious. It was perfect.
Yeah. I love when he's on the date with Rachel in season 9 and he's like listing all the things. He's like, "Yep, I got nothing going for me." He tells all these things and he's like, "And I'm pretty sure I'm infertile." It's just
yeah, he delivered it. And we see a couple
so
other Sports Fan says the one where everybody finds out. I mean, talk about classic iconic moments. The high pitched level that Ross gets his voice in that moment is classic.
Yes.
And then Soup Beat says the one where Ross got high. That's another
really good episode. That's a good Thanksgiving episode. It's one of my favorite Thanksgiving.
I like when they had to poke they thought it was the dead guy, the naked guy with the stick.
With I don't even know how long feet of freaking Chinese chopsticks.
Yes.
Yeah. You know, so everybody has, you know, their favorite character and all that kind of stuff. And so I guess we'll go there next. But you had mentioned, Darren, I'll kind of answer that when you said favorite guest star. That's tough because there was, like you said, there's so many. I think I would agree. I think the same one that was just mentioned, I would agree with that one. But when in terms of favorite characters and stuff, I mean, I'm going to go Joey, of course. I think that's, for me, that's an obvious one, although other characters have great moments too. But sometimes it was the lines he delivered, but sometimes it was the lines he didn't have to deliver and just the actions. Like I remember specifically towards the end of the show, right? He finds out some news that's devastating, and he just kind of quietly goes to the back, goes out the door, and is just going to leap to his death. And
when Rachel says her goodbye to him.
Yes. Yep. That's right. That's what it was. And he just, yep, that's it. He didn't say it. He just was going to go and like, Joey, no, you know. So that moment for me did it. And then the one that put it over the top was Crazy Bert roaming the halls when he's, you know, he's trying to get in with the adoption ladies in talking to Chandler, and they're like, "Get out of here. It's Crazy Bert roaming the halls." And he comes in with the bat. And, classic. Yeah.
So good. One of my favorite, like, kind of going off of that, like, ones where he doesn't say anything, it's just so funny, is when Janice shows up to the apartment at one point and she's talking to Chandler and Monica, and Joey is just walking in, and he goes to walk in Chandler and Monica's apartment, sees her, he goes and just runs away because he's absolutely not dealing with her. And that to me is one of the probably most underrated, funniest moments, because the physical comedy and that was so good. It's in season 7 somewhere. I forget which episode though. So funny.
There was wonderful poignant moments in the show too. You know, for me, obviously the prom video is an iconic scene. I think that's the scene, in my opinion, that put the show on the map for good. You know, it was a good show beforehand, but that was Unpack that scene for us, Lee, a little bit. I mean, that scene was just,
Yeah.
and it wasn't
That's
funny. It was sad, but lovely. And
but lovely, yeah. It was kind of like what makes Friends great. It's because it's funny, it's sad, it's sweet, it's everything all in one. That's one of my favorite episodes because I love Ross and Rachel's romance a lot. And I don't know why for some reason young me, but that was like the one thing I really hooked on to. And yeah, I love that because it's so sweet, but it's so funny because you know you're sitting there laughing at how ridiculous the cast looks in like these throwback looks of them in high school, at the mustache and the hair and everything like that. And I think especially at that point you're just wanting Ross and Rachel to be together, especially after they have their kiss a few episodes before that, and you're just wanting them to be together. And then the list happens and he messes things up there, and they're kind of like on bad terms. And then I think what I love so much about Ross and Rachel's relationship too is that Ross, he's always been really sweet to Rachel, even when they've had their moments. And I think that moment shows it when he is volunteering to be her date to the prom. And it's so heartbreaking because she walks out.
So hurt he looks, when she walks out.
Yeah. And I think then she realized, like, you know, at the core, even though Ross did all these things, he'd made the list and messed up there, at the core, he really loves her. And he's, you know, he's very sweet to her. And that kiss is iconic. I love when you can hear like the gasp from the audience right before they kiss. It's so good.
So good, yeah. And I'm glad you brought that up because that was awesome. What was it? I'm trying to remember where I wanted to go. You know, watching it back, I think imagine how difficult. Like, I mean, I did it when the show was on the air. I would watch the episode. I was old enough to wait till the next week, but watching it on DVD or on Netflix or wherever, you know, HBO Max is so much easier now to be able to, you know, kind of watch what you want and stop when you want and that sort of stuff. But you know, what is your go-to in terms of like when you watch Friends now? Like, is it a show right before bed? Is it a show that's like all day long? Is it, you know, certain holidays, certain things, or just whenever you have some extra time, you just throw it on? Like, is there a pattern?
Well, yeah, because I've seen it so many times now. I can quote everything about it. I mostly watch it now, like, one, if I'm definitely like ever sad, I put it on and it's like an instant cure. It always makes me feel better especially because I was even watching it earlier today just to like get ready for this. I'm like, let me rewatch some of the, you know, the football episode and everything. And I was just laughing so hard. And I'm like, you would think I'd never seen this show before. But definitely Thanksgiving, I like to watch like at least one Thanksgiving episode if I get a chance to, because those are always so good. Or yeah, maybe if at night, like you kind of, I think we were saying before the podcast started that like at night when you don't want to put something on that's going to stimulate your brain too much that you want to stay up, but it's something that you're kind of like, okay, I can kind of fall asleep to this because you've seen it so many times. It's just kind of like that relaxing type comfort show.
Yep. There's nothing that's going to hit you that's going to, you know, keep you up all hours of the night. We kind of talked about that before we went on, but no, it's true. I have to mention it just because it is what it is. Darren, I want to ask you this one first. So, of course, you know, the everything that happened with Matthew Perry and his passing and that whole thing. I just remember hearing about it and being devastated and watching as much Friends as I could watch just to kind of heal myself because it was like terrible. And then more and more details came and made it even worse. So just kind of your initial, if you can go back in time, your initial thoughts when you heard that, like what you remember about that time and just kind of your final synopsis of his life and his work, his body of work and stuff.
His body of work was incredible. It will be remembered for a long, long time. He will be a story of what could have been. He was struggling, and Lee might not know this. I've done a lot of work with addiction. In fact, I directed a documentary on addiction and fentanyl. And he was murdered. He was murdered. Yes, he was an addict, and they took advantage of an addict, and he was struggling. And what they gave him was something that killed him. These were unscrupulous people who took advantage of somebody who was battling addiction.
Yep.
He was killed because of his battle for addiction and because of that addiction. And people need to understand that.
Yep.
And we lose way too many people that way. He was a wonderful. I still don't know what he did for a living on the show.
Yeah.
But he might have been my favorite character on it. And Matthew Perry is a tale. Let's be careful out there. And we have another brother. Mike and I have another brother, and he taught me this thing: is to trust is good, to not trust is better. Matthew Perry trusted people to help him recover, and they took advantage of him and they killed him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's terrible. It's so sad. Like when I first heard about it, my initial thought was, I wonder if this was a drug overdose. And a lot of people were like, no, he was clean. But I know I have a lot of like personal family members that have struggled with addiction that you never truly know, and I knew, I don't know if you guys have read his book, but about his struggles, and it's really hard. And I know that for him, it once you struggle with something like that, it sticks with you for life. And you have to, and I think in Hollywood especially, it's probably very, very hard to stay clean through all things like that. And even Jennifer Aniston, she just did an interview. I tweeted about it. She said that her and the Friends cast, they had already kind of been pre-mourning him before he had even died, just because of all his struggles with it. And so it's so sad, especially because you can see it in the show, right? When he loses a ton of weight and everything, and you can just see that difference. It's so sad to watch, but it's, I for a while I couldn't even watch the show after he had passed, because I was like, oh, it's so heartbreaking. But now it's kind of all right, you're able to kind of see him as the talent he is.
And Lee, from what you were saying, you probably are aware of this. I mean, MAT is medically assisted treatment, and that's a real thing. And the doctor, and again, he is culpable to his demons. He's culpable to his addiction. But these doctors were supposed to be taking care of him. Instead, they were exploiting him. If you read those text messages, they're plain evil. They're going to suck all his money out of him. And if he died, so what? And that's what happened.
Yeah, and there's no great transition. I just want to make sure I mention that Mary mentioned Transmonster. I think not only in the show, but I think there's been hundreds of people that have lost trivia contests because they couldn't remember exactly what Chandler did for me. I know people still ask me what I do for a living, and it's still difficult to explain it. But for sure. So now, why do you think we've got about 7 minutes left before we have to head out here? So I want to.
I got a couple of trivia questions. I'm sorry though, Mike. I'm ready. By the way,
take it over. Take it. You got
no. Well, I have one question, tough question, but since you're a real,
God. Okay.
I thought that the whole thing with where move on for a second. All right. Well, I think okay, so put it
the pause while he thinks. I'll ask you this, Leah, while he's.
It'll take 4 weeks. Yes.
Is when we go over the cast of the show and what's that? Seems like, how come what do you think it is that the cast were they so pigeonholed into the character that they were in Friends that they really weren't as successful outside of that? Because if you really think about it, they've done, Jennifer Aniston did a couple movies here and there and stuff, but you can't capture that really again. You can do work, but so do you feel like because they were so good at what they do, that's why they really couldn't? I mean, I know they had some stuff, but that's why they couldn't really make it beyond the show in terms of a major hit.
Yeah. I mean, I think Jennifer Aniston is pretty successful, and she's got that show, The Morning Show. I love that on Apple TV Plus. I think she won a SAG award for that. So I think she's been if of all of them, been able to shed it the most. But the rest of them, I think it's just that thing where when you see a character for so long on your television screen, it's kind of hard to see them as anything else, because they would even say, I read in cast interviews that them and the character kind of morphed into one as the show went on, and so they're all talented actors, of course, but I don't know if you guys even saw like that OJ Simpson thing that David Schwimmer did. He did great, and
Yes.
it's like it's so hard to see him as anybody but Ross, you know.
Oh, yeah.
And I think it's kind of like, I think it's almost like watching your own friend in a movie. You're kind of like, okay, yes, you're doing a good job, but you would just still see your friend. And I think that's almost, you know, not even pun intended with the word friends. It's just that they did 236 episodes of this show. It's probably
10 years.
10 years, yeah. And it's not even like it's something where, you know, some people watch. It's almost hard to find people who haven't watched Friends, you know. So it's hard to. I think probably casting directors feel like, oh, if I hire so and so, they're just gonna see Monica Geller, or, you know.
So Leah, I have a coworker who maybe 3 months ago we were in a meeting, it was a Friday meeting, and I was like, what's everybody doing around the weekend? And you guys got any plans? And her comment was, I just started watching Friends for the first time. I'm on season 2. I'm like, how is that like possible? So I'm like, you've never seen? No, I've never seen. I've just seen season 1. I was like, how has this happened? I don't understand.
I get jealous of people.
So here's my question. It's a two-parter. That's why I was like trying to put it all together. First, here are my 2 things I did not like about Friends.
Okay.
And after 10 years, it can all be perfect.
Yes, I have some grievances too.
You know, the whole Joey Rachel kind of romance, that was terrible. I don't know what that thought was. It was awful. I thought it was really bad that they went through that. I don't know why they did that. It didn't make any sense. There was no continuity. That bothered me. And then it's a kind of a 2-part question, Lee. I don't know if you watched the TV show Frasier, but that show took off and did very well after Cheers. Why do you think Joey failed so miserably?
Yeah. First, I want to say that I agree with you on the Rachel and Joey thing. I think if there's one thing about this show that I don't like, it is that. I think it, like you said, it made no sense. And it actually stinks because I like the Barbados episodes, but it ruins the Barbados episodes for me. And yeah, that's a good question. I don't know, because I just recently finished Better Call Saul, which is a spinoff of Breaking Bad, which is so good.
And so
it's weird that I think that maybe it was just that I don't know if like Joey wasn't one that people, not that they didn't care about him, because I mean everyone loves him. I think it was just like maybe people felt too heartbroken that, you know, there was this group of friends and you liked seeing them all together, and now seeing one of them apart from the group, knowing like, especially because the way the show ended, you kind of were hoping like, okay, Joey has a Joey room at Monica and Chandler's house, so they're going to all be seeing each other, not as much anymore, but somewhat. Right. And now you just threw him off to LA with a whole new group. And so I think people were probably just like, I don't know, because it was made by some of the same people who did Friends too. So the humor is there, but it probably was just like the supporting characters maybe that I think I did watch some of it and I was like, this is just not for me either.
But I think you also just answered it, in my opinion. Like, I wanted Joey to live in Joey room, and that's it. And let's move on.
Yeah.
Where it just made sense. Just end it there. That would have been just kind of like, perfect.
Yeah, exactly. You know? And because everyone always
Frasier was different. He was divorced and moved out. That makes sense. Right. You didn't have a Frasier room. If you had a Frasier room, I wanted to stay there.
I think that's the thing too. Yeah, it's because even like I was saying with Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul, it's like, Saul was his own thing and you can easily detach him from that show. I think Joey, you can't do that as easily. The reason Friends works is because they're all together. So when you take one of them out, it's like, okay, no, we don't like this. I don't like seeing it like this. It's like seeing Joey and Rachel. I don't like seeing this together. So
now I don't know if Mary is still with us, Lee, because you threatened to just trash her in trivia, right?
I have.
So, Mike, who's going to win? Who do you think is going to win? You're betting. If you were a betting man and you're not, who's going to win?
Leah's going to win.
Absolutely.
Yes.
I've already trashed her before.
All right. I got 5 questions. I really have 10, but because of time, and so we'll have a winner. Worst case. All right. Okay. First, this goes to Leah. Lee, you ready?
Yeah.
How many sisters does Joey have?
He has 7.
All right. Ding, ding, ding. That's right. Very good. You get a penalty band for each right answer.
I love that.
All right, Mary, are you ready? Okay.
Hopefully
In the
she's
final in the final season of Friends, what's Rachel's job? Where does she work?
See. She's gonna be like, I conveniently logged off.
No, I conveniently am looking at Google.
Yeah, she could
Ooh.
Google it. I know that she would.
Wow.
She's going silent.
Oh, she's
She
back.
might not be-
Oh, she's done Googling.
Wow. Oh, I got an oh boy.
I'm just seeing the chat now.
All right. Wait till 10 seconds. Listen, tell us when we're done, Mike. You're the timekeeper.
I know.
Mike, you give us the time.
We've got 3, 2, and 1. And
We'll put up a bad penalty. Put up a sad
I
penalty.
don't know. Oh no.
I don't know.
Do you want to steal? Lee?
Yeah, I'll try. I actually might not be as well versed. I think that she is working at. No, she's not working at Bloomingdale's. I know she's doing fashion. I actually don't remember it. What is she doing at that time?
Well, that's the penalty bear. Hold on a second. My wife has come upstairs. I'll ask her. Final season of Friends. What is Rachel's job in the final season?
She's isn't she a buyer?
For who?
Bloomingdale's.
No, not Bloomingdale's. She works at Louis Vuitton after working at Ralph Lauren.
Oh, that's
Yes,
right.
right, because she was gonna go to Paris and do
There
that.
you go.
Okay, yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, ready? What fruit is Ross allergic to?
Kiwi.
Kiwi. Oh, we both got kiwi. Very good. All right. What's Chandler's middle name?
Muriel.
You both got that right too. All right.
She's my competition.
Okay. Last question. You ready?
Yeah.
And where's your friend Mary? You're getting trounced right now.
I
Come across.
know.
Ready? What is the name of Joey's stuffed penguin?
Hugsy.
Hugsy is right.
Yeah.
Very good. All right. Thank you.
That's awesome.
That was good. That was good. She
All
said I
right.
can't type fast enough. The excuses
That's
come
true.
out.
Wow. All right.
Yep.
This
It's-
was fun.
Yeah, this was a lot of fun, and
Yes.
I mean, there's like 90,000 topics we couldn't get to in one episode. So,
Right.
unfortunately, Leah, you're contractually obligated for a part 2 somewhere down the road.
I would
It was
love
in the
yes.
fine
to.
print, so it was in the fine print. Way down in the, but we'll make that happen
I
at
read
some
it.
point, sooner
Yes.
than later, for sure. So,
For
thank you
sure.
so much for your time.
Thank
This
you,
was
guys.
this is the fastest hour in podcasting, for
Yes.
sure.
really
So
was.
thanks everyone that watched with us. I know a lot of you were there not commenting, but I see you in there. So thank you for being here. Make sure you keep an eye on our channel. We'll be back again live this Sunday night, 8 o'clock Eastern. We'll let you know what we'll be talking about here in the next day or so. Also on Monday, we'll be dropping or doing a special episode on Mike Tyson and his career. So keep an eye out for that release on Monday to follow the Sunday release of the podcast. But until next time, guys, thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you around the ballpark. Bye, guys.